We can do it again this time. There we go. Turn it off. All right. There we go. I think we're back live. Hey guys, I apologize for some little technical difficulties here. So, okay, we are live again.
Welcome back.
So, say hi, guys. All right. You talk for a second. I'm trying to get everybody set up. Yeah, we're live.
But what I was saying before everything crashed a moment ago.
Before we were rudely interrupted.
Just a quick couple thank yous. Miss Laura, formerly from Haldeman Mansion. Currently at York Ghost Tours. We had an amazing year. All the events we hosted at the Haldeman. And we did a few at York as well. Want to thank Amy from Tours on Locust, the Samuel Miller Mansion, where we will be at next month. Bringing it back to our hometown, I want to thank Miss Margaret at the VFW, where we host our seminars like twice a year. We'll be there in February 2020. And just everybody, especially want to give a big thank you to Pam and Steve from the Gettysburg Ghost Exchange and Lookout House, who puts together the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash every year, and everyone involved in that helps them out to make that such a success. Eric and Stephanie and Lori and Danny and Christina and everybody that pitched in and helped out and made 2019 probably the best year. Every year is great, but this past year was amazing. And 2020 is going to be even bigger and better at the Gettysburg Bash. So everybody watching, everybody listening, try to make it. I believe the dates are July 24th through 26th. It's on all our pages. I believe that's the date, though, for 2020.
There you go.
Without further ado, let me get in touch with our special guest here.
I'm really excited about this guest.
Yeah, we've been you know what? I think the guy's a jinx, because you remember last time he was scheduled.
I know.
Like everything went haywire, and we had to.
Yeah, everything literally just froze up here.
Yeah, we had to postpone the show. Yeah, that's the first time it's froze up like that.
And I had everything ready to go, real calm and easy, so I didn't have to stress out or anything.
Ted, you're a jinx.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Really good. I don't know if you started watching to begin with, but we had technical difficulties yet again. The whole set. I'm blaming it on you because we had technical difficulties. My whole system froze up. My system never freezes up.
And if you recall, the original date we were supposed to have you on, everything went haywire that day for all three of us.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, so you're blaming me?
Yeah, you know why? Because you can't reach me through the phone. Let me introduce our guest on the phone, guys. This is the King of Soul, the rock and roll, the Prince of Charm, the King of Spirits, the love of my life, Mr. Ted Van Son.
The love of your life.
Yeah, I was, what?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something here. I'll give a laugh track. There you go.
I think there's something you guys ain't telling me maybe here.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
There you go.
Give him some applause.
Nice.
Ted, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, Ernie. How about you?
Not bad, not bad. We've been really looking forward to getting you on this episode here, man. I have so much I want to talk about with you.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, thanks for having me. You have a good night too.
And for those watching, that was Mr. Ted Van Son.
Thank you.
But
I'll be here till Thursday. Try the veal.
Man. Hey, I seen your brief singing video last night, man.
Yeah, the whole what? 2 seconds?
Yeah, I didn't know what I was like. What's he doing? And then I got ready to watch, and then it cut off. I was like, oh, okay. But you didn't think I knew the song or the artist, did you?
Well, I didn't know.
I knew that because I actually sang that song once at karaoke.
Ah,
Yeah. But Ted, I want to start off, man. Let's talk a little bit about your books.
okay.
Tell everyone basically what the first one's about. I've read both of them, you know. I have the first one. I still haven't gotten my copy of the second one. But
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your first book.
Well, the first one is Flashlight Recorder and Comfortable Shoes. It was written basically for, the investigator that I don't know, if you're a beginner, basically, I guess is the best way to put it. But, a seasoned, even somebody that's been out there for a while doing it, there might be some things in there like the old school paranormal that they may not know that's inside that book. It's kind of just like a handbook, I guess, of how to be a paranormal investigator, a ghost hunter.
Right.
It was pretty much just all the basics, so not bad, so.
Yeah, I actually, because I believe, I think you sent me a copy of the first one, I believe. But I actually read that one as well. I think in like 2 days. You know what I mean? I like what
That's
I
a
like.
lot of reading for 2 days.
I'm sorry.
That's a lot of reading for 2 days.
Well, I tell you, I know exactly where I was when I read it. My wife was having outpatient surgery one day, and I had to be there. They didn't want me to leave the facility, so I took that book with me. I read the first half while I was waiting on her, and then I believe it was like the very next day when I was home, I finished up the second half of the book. But I like both books, of course, but I liked the second book better, because most of the things in that book I completely 100% agree with, because I myself personally like the old school styles of investigating. You know what I mean?
Oh, Ernie, now stop. The only reason you liked the second book was because it was bigger letters.
And the third book needs more pictures. That way we can give Dave Seiler a copy.
Speak slowly
I'm
to me.
I'm going to make that one braille.
I don't even think that'll help him, Ted.
Probably not.
I speak slowly.
Well, as you were saying, basically the second book is called Think Outside the Paranormal Box. And that's pretty much old school ideas, or ideas that I had that I put together that on occasion I used.
Mm-hmm.
And what people have to understand is that in the paranormal, there is no right and wrong. And you have to think outside the box, more or less. So that's why I call it the paranormal box. You have to be willing to try anything and everything to try and get an answer, or make your way towards at least some type of goal or in that direction.
Right.
And the best way to do that is to stop thinking so narrow-minded, open up your mind, and think differently.
So
you got to be able to rotate your thoughts.
on a personal level, Ted, with the technology that's out here, and all the gadgets and gizmos that everybody sees on all these shows, why is it that you, when you investigate, why is it that you choose to stay with the old school techniques?
Main reason, if I'm going to be honest with you, is the tools and gadgets that are out there. You really can't say that they're giving you any more of an advantage than the old school things.
Right.
Typically because, let's back up a little bit. First off, we don't even truly know that ghosts exist. We only know that there's something out there because of the claim. It's not because we have real evidence.
Right.
Real evidence at this stage of the game does not exist. We don't have a blood sample. We don't have a chemical makeup. We don't
Right.
You know, it's best at best it's pure speculation. It's the hypotheses that we put out that we hope that one day we're going to be able to tell you that a ghost really exists, but right now we just don't have that.
Right.
I always sit on the line of, do they really exist or not? And even though I may be somewhat sensitive or I may know other things, it doesn't mean I can prove that they're real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could be clinically insane. So could David.
I resemble that.
You know, it's just the fact that there's a lot of people out there that claim to see and hear things and they're talking to things, but can we prove it?
Right.
And that's probably one of the biggest things about the field right now, and that's why I don't do all the gadgets. I mean, your EMF detectors, your K2s, your millimeters, anything that you have, that they're all done in set different megahertz, and you know we don't know what it's reading. Of course, we're saying EMF because, like, we think a ghost is made of electromagnetic field. We don't know that. It's
Right.
It's a guess, you know?
Right.
Right.
I mean, it could be anything. It could be an energy that we don't even know of as of yet.
Right.
It could be, I don't know, you know, it could be anything. It could be a magnet spark for all we know.
Right. See, and that's like I always say that, you know, of course, choosing the old school styles of investigating. But that's why I always say I always like a voice recorder and a digital camera. I mean, of course, everything can at this point can be debunked, you know, most of the time. But you know, when we're sitting in that room and there's only 2 or 3 of us in the house, you know, and we capture what sounds like, you know, an anonymous voice. You know, that to me, that's a little more, I don't know what word I'm looking for.
Real.
A little more concrete
Right.
than some, like you're saying, some gadget we're not really sure what it's made up to do.
Yeah, but Ernie, you have to think about this though too. And you know, I'm not as thorough as some of these other skeptics that are out there.
Mm.
I can mention a name, but I'm not going to, even though he's my friend and my buddy. I love the way he tears things apart. But it's the same with your EVPs. It's the same. Everything that we have in this field right now, every single thing can be put aside or sat down and stated or labeled as not proof. There are things just like your digital recorder that catch things all the time, but it doesn't mean it's a ghost. We may not know where it's coming from, and just so happens to answer you or fall in the category of answering you, but we don't know if an EVP is real. You know,
Right.
we don't. I mean, we're guessing. There is no real clinical proof whatsoever, and that's the problem that every single paranormal or ghost hunter in this world is facing. And I think it's because, and you want to talk about substantial proof versus just something off the cuff here that I'm throwing at you. Like you were going to use, you know, say like a K2 meter versus an EVP, which I
Right.
get. I totally get it. But let's do it this way. Let's put it a little more visual. Let's put it as a box with light that seems to light up every time it's in a certain spot of the house versus a picture of seeing a book levitating in the air.
Right.
Which one are you going to believe?
The book.
The book. Yeah.
Exactly. Which I get. I totally get it. And that's what it comes down to. Is even with your old school stuff, you're able to take photos.
Right.
You're able to take video of it actually moving. Now anybody can say, hey, it was on a string. Somebody was dangling it. It was blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if you do have a movie camera, you try everything you can to debunk what their thoughts are going to be.
Right.
But
Right.
at the same time, you know, it used to be an old standard that when you took a photo, it meant something, and it did hold as truth.
Mm-hmm.
Today's day and age, not so much. captured, everybody signed off on it so that you had witnesses.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's the same thing that should be happening in the investigation. If everybody saw it, then everybody should put their name on a piece of paper saying, I saw it, I witnessed it.
Right.
At least eyewitness account stands for something. It's better than, you know, nothing.
Right. Yeah, because we had. I mean, this is along the lines of what you're saying. I think it was in October. We were hosting an event at a location, and we were doing a public investigation. In doing so, we were all in a room adjacent to a hallway, and I guess we were in there a good 20, 30 minutes, and you know, we were doing EVP work and different things like that, and we heard a noise. And just about everyone in the group heard the noise. And when they looked down the hallway to see where the noise was coming from, because actually my motion detector light came on, which illuminated the hallway, and as Dave and a few other guests looked down the hallway, they actually seen a door closing. That was the noise that we heard. It was the creaking of the door. You know, the funny thing is, everything we were doing at the time, we kind of put on hold so that we could try to recreate it or debunk it somehow, which after about 20 minutes of working on it, we were unsuccessful. But that's just one of the, for instances where multiple people, some people, it was their first time ever being on an investigation, actually got to see this door move.
Yeah, it was wild, and it happened again later on in the night. We actually caught it on audio, and we actually saw it physically, and it was more than one person that saw it. So, I mean, you know, it was an awesome catch.
And we did.
So let me ask you a question then.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Sorry
sir.
to interrupt there, Ernie, but
That's
let me
all.
ask you a question. So you guys went through and you made sure there was no breezes.
There-
Was nothing.
Ted,
Yep.
we tried absolutely everything.
We tried bouncing. We tried like opening doors, you know, downstairs, upstairs.
For the valve, for a vacuum, you checked for the vacuum.
Yeah, there
you
was
checked for all that stuff.
absolutely nothing. And the thing that kind of validates it a little bit more for me too is the amount of time we were in that room. Nothing environmentally had changed. No one had moved or went anywhere. Everyone was completely still.
Right. And you could hear the people fucking freaking out about it.
But
It's really cool.
what led up to it was we had Haley with us from Keystone State Paranormal. What's up, Dave and Jim? And she's a sensitive. And she immediately, as soon as we got to the location to do a preliminary walkthrough before any of the guests arrived, she was picking up on a strong, dominant male presence in that hallway. Now, when we were doing our EVP work, or whatever it was that we were doing at the time, she went off course for a moment and she said, "Hey, I'm sensing this male presence in the hallway again." Well, Ted, no sooner she said that is when my motion light came on that was facing down the hallway, which was about a good 30 feet from where we were. At that point, once the light came on, we took notice of it, but that is when we heard the sound of the door.
You actually said something to the effect of, "You can come close to us."
Yeah, when the light came on, I made a mention of, you know, if that's you in the hallway, keep coming toward my voice.
Nothing's going to hurt you,
Right.
Utterly or literally, whatever you
Literally,
said.
yeah. And then that's when we heard the sound of the door, which at the time we didn't know it was a door until everybody peeked out into the hallway to see what it was.
Everybody heard it at the same time, and you could hear the crowd react. And then I jumped up because I saw something, what it looked like it was moving, because I was right in the doorway. And as I'm running down the hallway, I see the door moving. Well, just as I'm saying the door's moving, Andrew Darling, who's right behind me on the steps, says, "That door's moving." You hear me going at the same time. "Ernie, that door's moving. I saw it with my own eyes."
All right, so let me ask you a question. How fast was the door moving? Was it like moving creepily slow, like really, really slow?
Really slow. It's a very heavy door. So it was moving, just like you heard it go, "ee," and it was still moving by the time I got down the hallway. And
so
when
it wasn't like some like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
Not like somebody like stood there and just kind of like
No,
no.
No, if somebody would have touched it, we would have seen them or caught them because we could see down the hallway, and we had a motion light in the hallway. So,
Okay, so here's the thing though, Dave, and this is to you because of what you're saying. Now, when we say really, really slow, are we saying like snail slow, turtle slow,
it took approximately about 8 seconds for it to move about 25 to 30 degrees.
All right, because now this is something that you may not know. That to close a door, if a spirit of some type or a ghost is going to close the door, they're not going to move the door very, 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 very slow. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. It's going to be open and shut. It's going to be a normal type of speed. It's not going to be something very slow. So I myself, I mean, I trust you guys went through and debunked as much as you could,
Yep.
but I would have to second guess it and say, if it's moving that slow, it has to be something else.
Well, the thing is, we had a whole bunch of people there. They were in the room with us. So we were thinking, maybe it was, maybe the wind, maybe something moved. We tried opening the downstairs door, which is right at the bottom.
Well, that was basically the only thing accessible was the downstairs door because the property itself, the majority of the windows, I believe, were painted shut.
Yes,
remember
it
was it was kind of like you were in a bunker almost.
Correct.
It was Now the funny thing is, Ted, and I respect what you're saying. We went on for hours after that. Nothing to that extreme happened again until we were back up there again, and
just about everybody was gone at that point.
Yeah, the group was at about 50%, and that's when we got on the kick of the door again and made a request that, hey, can you move that door again for us? And on command, it moved again.
It happened again.
Okay, all right.
The other thing is that the third level hallway, it was just Ernie, Haley, I think Andrew was still there, and Grace and I were all the way downstairs. And I was walking up the steps, and I saw this ball kind of moving at the second level hallway. And I took it up with me to you guys and to everybody's on the third level. I said, hey, guys, did you just toss us down steps? And the reaction was, no, we put it at the end of the steps and asked whatever it is to move it.
Yeah, Haley stuck a rubber ball at the edge of the step.
Yep.
And it was just the three of us in the room. And she had asked, can you move the ball or whatever her terminology was. We were unaware that the ball went down the steps. We didn't hear it because it was light.
Yeah, it was like one of those really soft rubber balls.
Yeah. So
but Grace and I came up to find everybody else because Grace was kind of getting tired and time to go. And we came up 2 levels, and it was just sitting there at the bottom of the steps, like lightly wiggling. And I thought they had tossed it downstairs. And so I brought it back up and said, did you guys just toss us down? Like, no, we asked them to move it.
Right. Well, that's the same as your door. I mean, if you ask them and they close the door or open the door, that's a direct response. But,
the other thing is,
unfortunately, you have to do it. You have to have them do it several times before look at it as a science, scientifically.
right?
It has to happen more than once on command.
Well, the other thing is, in the room,
it's interesting. It's interesting, though.
the room we were in, we were all sitting around the edges of the room, and there was a flashlight. There was a yes/no flashlight in the middle of the room, and it all of a sudden rolled by itself in front of everybody.
Oh, that's interesting too.
Yeah, that was probably cool because there was no place that anybody could touch it.
Well, that was because there was a lady there, and it's a funny story, Ted. Her friends gathered her up and said, hey, because it was around Halloween, we're going to a haunted house. Well, she thought it was like, one of the haunted attractions, where they got monsters and people dressed up. So they get to this house that we're at. They knock on the door. I open the door, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I think we're in the wrong place. And I said, well, if you are, you're welcome to join us. And she goes, no, I'm supposed to be at a haunted house. And I'm like, well, come on in. You're at the right place. So the flashlight Dave's talking about was about, I don't know, what, 20 feet from her?
Yeah.
Give or take?
Probably about more like 8 or so, because it was halfway in the room.
Right. And she had never done anything like this before, but, of course she enjoys watching the TV shows and that.
Right.
And the flashlight, I guess it was about 8 to 10, maybe 12 feet from her. And once again, we had been in that room for quite a while, and she was sitting Indian style on the floor.
On the floor.
And that's when the flashlight rolled, and she just kind of got up and left the room.
Her face was like priceless.
Yeah. But it's definitely, that's the place we're going to be at on January 18th. Now, the one thing...
That's 3 days after my birthday.
Oh, your birthday's on the 15th?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
Huh. I didn't know that. Or maybe I did know that.
We knew that. We just forgot it for the moment.
I tell you, this year went so fast. I know.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Because I just remember wishing you happy birthday. I thought it was not too long ago. Jeez, it was. But it's funny, Ted, because this location that we've been speaking of, that we're at on the 18th of January, we've got really good, intriguing EVPs out of there. But the funny thing is, the 2 times that we've been there, both times, not only Dave and I and Haley, but the guests, everyone, mostly everyone has experienced disembodied voices.
Yep. Like you can hear at the top of...
What's that?
Where is this location?
Columbia, Pennsylvania. It's the Samuel Miller Mansion.
I think you're crossing the Princess House versus Samuel.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, never mind. I'm getting 2 locations mixed up. This was
over
at
the hill, the Princess House.
This was the house we've been speaking about is in York, Pennsylvania. It's nicknamed the Princess House.
Yep. It's a private residence owned by York Ghost Tours, and they were going to fix it up and sell it, but in the process they were just saying, "Hey, is it haunted?" We found a whole bunch of interesting things in there, so now they're actually going to keep it as an attraction.
Princess House is perfect for David.
Hey.
Dave's like a chameleon, man. He can just fit in anywhere.
There's a lot of jokes there.
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, that's cool. I was just wondering how far it was from Gettysburg.
30 minutes? 40 minutes?
I would say between 30 minutes and an hour, somewhere in between there. I'm not really, because I know I made it, because I had a double day one day. I had something in Gettysburg,
right? Then
I had to shoot across and go up to the Haldeman Mansion all in one day.
That was the world's largest when you actually went over to Gettysburg.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The trails.
But it was.
I'm just thinking that it would be fun to go to when I'm down there in Gettysburg.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, we'll take you there. But it was, because from Gettysburg to Haldeman Mansion was like a 45-minute ride. Right. So it in that general vicinity, man, like 30 minutes to an hour. But yeah, I mean, we could, it's not far. Once we meet up at the Bash this year.
All right.
You are coming to the Bash, right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
So now
I can't miss that.
What's that?
I said I can't miss that.
Wasn't
the
it?
radio show will be there, and we'll be doing our thing again. You guys will be doing it.
Yeah.
We'll be doing it.
Yep.
Yeah. Everybody's going to be doing it at the Bash.
Everybody.
But this year was so much fun, wasn't it, Ted?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the new T-shirt. Everybody does it at the Bash.
Wait a minute, let me hit invite Pam Berry. There you go. I just sent an invite to her for the show. Let's see if we can kind of communicate that to her. Oh. So now you have a little soiree coming up in a couple months.
Yeah, we have the Rochester Winter Parafest.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's going to be at the Bailey Oak Event Center in Geneseo.
All right.
March 29th or February 29th and March 1st.
Okay.
And we got you guys and a whole bunch of other people coming. Mike King from Ghost of Shepherdstown. We got some of the guys from Paranormal Survivor. haunting, haunted case files.
Dan Class.
It's going to be a lot of different types of people there, plus vendors. Bigfoot's even going to be there.
Oh, wow. You finally found a shoe for me, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So Bigfoot, face painting, the whole deal. We're going to have a lot of fun there.
Nice.
Good.
Nice. So how can people get tickets for it?
Well, actually, the site is being revamped right now. It should be, hopefully by the end of the week, it'll be fixed, but it's winterparafest.com. And they can go there to get tickets. But at the bottom of paratalkradio.com, there's also a link there for tickets.
Nice. Nice.
Yep. So, and if they check the Facebook Paratalk Radio page, they can also, find them there, or find a way to get to them at least. I mean, the listing's everywhere that I can get it. So you just got to remember Rochester Winter Parafest. Once you remember that, you'll be fine. You'll be able to find the tickets.
There you
I think
go.
they're on thriller.event is where the tickets are.
Nice. So it looks like we're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
So, and
You have your clothes on, right, David?
I might, maybe, possibly. So, and one of our joint friends together, Mr. Dan Class, has invited us to kind of take a trip down the road to something real close to there, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Where does he live? Or he doesn't live there, but he owns it.
Oh, yes. The Haunted Hinsdale House.
Yep.
Yes.
So we are going to be taking a trip.
It's a 2-hour drive.
A 3-hour tour.
Okay, Gilligan.
Skipper! So I thought it was closer than that. I thought it was about an hour away.
No, it's about 2 hours.
Nice.
Well, my goodness.
So tell us a little bit about your debut on Ghost Nation last week.
Yeah, someone didn't tell us that you were going to be on there.
I couldn't tell you I was on it.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. We're friends.
Yeah.
Screw that NDC.
I get home from work because I have my DVR set to record everything. So I get home from work that morning and I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch the first half of Ghost Nation before I go to bed. So I knew it was about the episode in New York that Ted and I spoke about a piece of evidence regarding it a few months ago. So I knew it was that episode. So anyhow, I didn't know Ted was going to be on it. So I'm sitting home and I push play and I'm sitting there and, they say where they're at and this and that. And then you see Jason and Steve and Dave, they go to the water area and this and that. And they're like, we're going to meet up with our first guest. And I'm looking, right? And I'm thinking, because automatically I'm looking for stuff to start jokes about when I talk to Ted. So
he says old friend, by the way.
What's that?
Old friend.
Who said that?
That's what Jason says. We're going to meet up with an old friend.
So look. So there's that Jason's talking, and then they show somebody in the background. And I said, I'll be damned if that don't look like Ted. And I'm like, that's my first joke. When I call him and be like, what's everybody in upstate New York look alike? And then he goes, my old friend, he says, Ted Van Son. I was like, son of a gun.
I know that dude.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, I knew your involvement with it, but I did not know you were going to be on the episode.
Yeah.
But that was a nice surprise, man. And I told you when we talked on the phone a few days ago, not because it was an episode with you on it, but that was by far my favorite episode of that show. That episode was pretty good. Yeah, you're
just saying that because I looked really good that day.
Yeah, you did look kind of
Studley.
Yeah, not bad. He actually sounded like he knew what he was talking about, and he was professional. I said,
look at the picture we got up of him. He's looking all Studley there.
I'm telling you.
Does anybody really listen to this show? What?
Yeah, what? Yeah, a couple hundred here and there somewhere. I don't know where all the hits come from. I try to watch where the comments are coming from, but it always shows like 8 or 10. We finally sign off the show and it says we've had 400 hits. I'm like, what?
Well, what I do is when I get home, I always rewatch it because I like to rewatch each episode so I know what to do and not do. I'm just weird like that with this. You know what I mean? So
I'm glad you weren't watching Dave on the TV then.
Oh, Lord.
Like, don't do what Dave does.
Yeah, this is... Well, I notice a lot of the comments going around now,
like you're not as good as your sweater.
on our, hey, man, I'm festive. I got my ugly Christmas sweater on.
He been hoeing.
But, man, you made me lose my train of thought. Oh.
Look, a distraction.
But Dave always, during seminars or when we're talking in front of people, Dave always tells a story about when he ran into me and gave me two black eyes.
I ran through him
during the investigation. And that's just like the running joke now. Like, whenever I post something on Paranormal Inc. page, like something funny or a meme or whatever, the comments are like, yeah, don't run, or only Dave is allowed to run, or you shouldn't run when you're ghost hunting.
Unless your name is Dave.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny about that episode is that it was rated. They did a countdown of the best evidence for this season.
I saw that.
And it was rated the number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
What if you? I guess you can talk about it. I'm not certain. I mean, I don't want nothing. I'm not asking from anything from the production crew or not. And I just want your take on it. But they had the shadow that materialized and walked by. What's your take on that, Ted?
Well, to be honest with you, it was. I wouldn't call it a shadow because it was. You really couldn't see through it. It was solid.
Right. Yeah.
And so. I don't know. I mean, it was weird because the angle that I saw, the actual footage in front of me, it was like a mist that just kind of, as it moved, it just sort of formed this figure. It was like watching something on CGI.
Yeah, because right before it walked out of frame, I mean, it looked like a complete, solid, full figure. Right before.
Right, and here's what they don't show you in the episode is that the mother was sleeping in that room originally, and her bed was against the wall. So think of where you've seen that figure, and then behind it is where the bed is. And it was actually walking to the door to the basement.
Oh,
wow!
So, and the reason, now we're not sure why, and it's still an ongoing investigation. This is something that most people don't understand is that it's going to be a long time there because of the evidence that was found. So scientifically, there's a lot of research still happening. This figure pretty much just went through. There was a what do they call them? There's a giant cabinet in front of the door to the basement, and a bureau I think is what they call it. And this thing walked through that, and then into the basement. We're guessing.
Oh wow!
Because we didn't get to see where it actually went to, but from where the doorway was to the door to the basement was probably 4 feet, 5 feet. And it didn't go into the living room. And the only other place that it could have gone from there was to make a right and go to the bathroom. But I don't think the ghost went to the bathroom.
Did you, prior to filming that episode there, have you investigated that house before?
Once. I was actually called in because the team that was originally working on that location, the people that called them in, they wouldn't respond to them anymore. We don't know what happened. We don't know why. And David, the person that was having the issues, called me and said, about his location, told me the whole story, and I told him that I would get back to him. And the next day, Travel Channel called me and said, hey, I got this location in upstate New York. It's out in Brookendale, blah, blah. I said, yeah, the guy's name wouldn't happen to be David, is it? And he goes, how did you know that? I go, well, because he called me the day before. So we kind of put it all together as like I was supposed to be contacted.
Right. That's pretty cool.
And so so that's what happened. Now, and when I said in the beginning, when I was talking to Jason about finding some weird things that we couldn't explain, here's a house that when you're upstairs in the bedroom and we were reviewing the EVPs, we caught a horse whinnying. We caught like a giant steamship horn. There was growling. This guy has these metal figures or pewter figurines of like the Roman Empire, and there's probably 100 of them laying on this dresser, and you hear clink, 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 like they're falling over.
Oh wow!
And you looked at this whole dresser where all these things are laid. In the middle, directly in the middle, 5 of them were laying down.
Wow.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
So,
How long is
it
it?
was weird.
How long has the activity been going on at that house?
It's been 5 years, I think. That's just for him. But the witchery, the guy that came in to do the water witchery, said that it's been happening there over 20 years because what's really strange and about the best evidence that was caught there was the video of the little girl saying, "Amelia,
Right.
you're down here, touch me," and you hear Amelia say, "Okay, I touched you."
Now, a while back when I heard that EVP, when you sent it to me that night, I mean, you didn't coax me at all. If you remember, like, hey, it could
Right.
be this. So you just said, if you remember, you called me and said, hey, I want you to listen to something. Tell me what you hear. This was like 2:30 in the morning. And
Right.
if you remember, I called you right back and I said, this is what it sounded like to me. And it's exactly what you guys heard.
Right.
So that
But what's weird about this is that the guy that did the water witchery said that he had seen that apparition there 20 years prior of a little black girl.
really?
Oh wow.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Wow.
I'm sorry, I should have said African American.
We don't stand on premise here, and if we offended anybody, send me a comment, and we'll apologize to you personally. So how's that?
But no, I remember, because I remember when he showed up on the episode and they were talking to him. But that's amazing. That's wow. So do
It
you?
was some of the best evidence that was ever caught. I mean, I'll be honest with you, that episode there was a full week of taping and recording, and they only gave you like 3 pieces of evidence. There was a lot of evidence.
Right.
A lot. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So what's next for Mr. Ted Van Son? What do you got coming up in the future for the paranormal world?
Well, right now I'm working on my 3rd book, which is I haven't decided on a title yet.
I think you ought to let me. I think you ought to let me title it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically going to be like a field guide, a quick reference field guide.
Mm-hmm.
For the investigator.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to have a whole bunch of different stuff in it.
Nice.
And it's going to take a while for this book.
Yeah, in the forward, put rule number 1: do not run. Rule number 2: unless your name is Dave.
Rule number 2: if your name is Dave, leave. But that's what I've got going on there, and then the Paranormal, of course. And I'm working on 3 other investigations right now, and we're busy.
That's good.
Awesome.
There's a lot going on. So
That's awesome.
Parafest is Rochester Winter Parafest is the biggest thing right now, and of course Paratalk Radio. We're busting that too. I mean, we're doing as much as we can on Paratalk Radio, and I got some interviews coming up on a couple other radio shows.
Nice. Yeah, you had some really cool guests on Paratalk.
Yeah.
You really do.
Well, we're celebrating 4 years come February.
Wow.
Or wait a minute, no, January, 2nd week of January. 4 years.
4 years.
Yep.
Wow. How long? Cindy's been with you a year?
It'll be 2 years, I think.
2 years. We were talking about that because we had Cindy on a few episodes ago, and
Don't you love her?
How can you not? How can you not? She's so bubbly and fun and.
Not only that, she's like so. You know, the only thing I can say about Cindy is she can be wild, crazy. She can be out of control sometimes, but when she tells you she cares about you, you know it.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
I mean, she is one of those people. She's genuine, and a psychic medium. I'm telling you, I haven't worked with anybody better.
Right.
To be honest with you.
That's cool. Yeah, she's really she's a lot of fun. You know what I mean? And it's you're lucky to have a good co-host like Cindy.
Well, you're not getting her, Ernie. You're not getting her.
Hey, I'll ship Dave up to you, man. I'll even pay for the shipping and handling.
No way.
Damn.
By the pound.
What's that?
Especially if you gotta ship them by the pound.
I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has a lot of shipping.
But well, Ted, look, man, we're running out of time. We really appreciate you taking your Sunday evening and spending an hour with us.
Yeah, you're welcome, and don't forget, guys, Battlefield Bash.
Yeah, baby.
Battlefield Bash.
That's
gonna be the bomb. Everybody can come out and check out Ernie and Dave.
And Ted and Cindy.
Paranormal, and they can come and see me and Cindy with Paratalk Radio, and it's gonna be a lot of fun this year.
We had so much fun because we did 2 live broadcasts from there.
Yep.
2 or 3, 2. And we grabbed up some amazing people, and we had such a good time.
Ted,
man.
you would be proud of me. I figured out how to get onto Spreaker Studio and reload all the audio properly, including the missing episodes.
Awesome. Now you just have to make sure you edit everything.
I already did. It's already there.
Wow.
Yeah, I did all that yesterday.
Good job, Dave. And just so you know that you're for doing the radio show at Gettysburg, we are in the process. The radio station WLSE-DB Radio is in the process of purchasing a giant spinning wheel so that we'll be able to have people donate $1 towards Pam and Steve's benefit for the wounded warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And they can donate $1 to spin the wheel and then win prizes. So make sure you guys start saving up prizes.
Oh yeah, I think that's no problem there. But well, Ted, thank you very much, my friend, and I will be in touch with you very soon. And as always, if you ever need anything from Dave or I, our phones are always on. Yep. You know how to get in touch with us.
Oh yeah,
you are awesome.
I can't wait to see you guys, you and Mikey and.
Yeah, good old Mike King.
Shoot me for saying that.
Mikey.
Hey, Mikey.
We've called him worse. Don't worry about it. You ought to hear what we call you when you're not around.
Oh, great.
My Christmas present.
Oh, Lord.
Right.
Ted.
Yes, guys. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
you
my
too,
brother.
my friend.
And, big hugs from everybody and to the whole family over there. You know, Invisible John, Cindy, thank you for everything.
We'll be in touch, my friend. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, guys. Yep, bye-bye.
So, love Ted. He's like awesomeness.
He is. But anyway, man, wow, man. Season 1 of Step Into the Paranormal is coming to a close.
Yeah.
It went quick, man.
It did.
We got the phone call, because I can remember exactly. It was on my anniversary, May 25th. And we were standing in line. Ava had her dance recital up at the art school or whatever by my house. And my phone rings, and it's Dave. And I say, hey, can I call you back? I'm getting ready to go in and get my seat here. The show's about to start. And he said, hey, you want to do a radio show? And I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm like, what? Yeah. So anyhow, Ted offered it to us. And I was kind of skeptical at first, man. I mean, that's not what we do. I mean, we've been on several podcasts. Yep. And anyway, we threw our hat in the ring and took a shot, and it's been so much fun. We've had such great people on here,
and we've got such great fans at this point. So
yeah,
thank you to everybody
who
supporting us.
Yeah, who messages in and texts us, personally about the show, and tell us, we got one guest lined up for 2020. We have others in mind. No confirmed dates yet because we have to work out with their schedule, but. if there's anyone you'd like to hear from, or any topics you want to talk about,
let us know.
We're still working on getting the one regarding animals, which is going to be very exciting. I have several stories with occurrences that I believe were pets. Mike King has a few.
I got a couple stories on that too.
Yeah, and so
Laura's dogs.
Yeah. Email us your stories, or
help
call
at
us.
ParanormalInc.net.
Because what we want to do is we want to take one episode. We want to have no guests on it, but we just want everybody's stories involving.
Let us know.
Their pets or something. It doesn't even have to be a pet. Something to do with
right
the
here,
animal.
Help at ParanormalInc.net. If you go there, has our YouTube channel. Has how to contact us. Send us your stories.
Because we're gonna get. I got Andrew's story, and I want to. We're gonna pick a handful of them. Have you call in, tell your story, or you can message in if you don't want to talk live on the air. It's up to you. But again, we want to thank everyone that supported Paranormal Inc. in 2019. All the great locations that we've been to. The Paracons, the festival, it was so much fun. And
it was a blast.
We're truly humbled and very honored to be part of the Paranormal family. Steve and Pam, thank you for all the great work you do.
Love you guys.
Regarding all the wounded warriors, the ill children. Keep up the good work. We always have your back. We love you very much. Laura up at the Haldeman, now York Ghost Tours, thank you for everything when you were at the Haldeman.
Haley, thank you for all your help. Dave Haney, thank you. There's tons of people that we could sit here. We could be all here all night thanking people.
And everybody that's always at the bash every year, we will see you in just a few months. Looking forward to it. We hope everyone has a very merry, safe, and just best Christmas ever. And we will be back on January 5th with demonologist Mr. James Anito, and that's going to be a great episode.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff behind him.
Yeah, so have a happy, safe, and prosperous New Year.
Yep.
And we will speak to you on January
see you next
5th.
year.
See ya.